Welcome, welcome, welcome to the 10th annual Southside Pitch. I like that. I like that. I want lots of hooting and hollering tonight. This is a festive, exciting occasion, and we're so glad you're here to join us. I'm Beth Krieger. I'm the director of the IJ Clinic on Entrepreneurship. We're your hosts for the evening. We are nested at the University of Chicago Law School, just a few blocks away, and we are attorneys, we're advocates, we're organizers, and we are party throwers for low-income entrepreneurs. We work with teams of students to help entrepreneurs with a wide variety of their legal needs, and the law students provide the counsel, and the entrepreneurs provide the inspiration. And there's going to be a lot more of that inspiration tonight, so put on your seatbelts. Our goal at the IJ Clinic is to make sure that the laws and the procedures and the red tape don't get in the way of someone with a big dream and a small budget here in the city of Chicago. So this week was a special week. It's the beginning of a new school year, and we had the fun of meeting one of our brand new clients. And I was sitting there with some brand new law students talking with an entrepreneur, Bernadine, who's starting a food co-op on the South Side, the South Side Food Co-op. You know it? And you can all join. But she was telling us about how aware she was. She couldn't help but see what was missing in the South Side. She couldn't help but see the vacancies, the gaps, the deserts on the South Side. But she also knew about the assets and the strengths of the community on the South Side. It is not in Bernadine's character to sit around and wait for someone else to solve the problem. She said, my family is solution-oriented, and so her family is working, doing the very hard work of pulling people together, connecting those dots. It's not easy, connecting those dots between the idea and the funds and the place and the inventory and the customers to make a business work. That is the hard work of the finalists that you're going to see tonight. They've done amazing things to connect those dots. Now, Bernadine has faith that she can make this work. She has faith in her idea. She has faith in her community. And she would be quick to tell you she has another kind of faith as well. And she views business as part of her ministry. And she quoted some scripture to me, which I just can't lose hold of. It's just in my head now. Despise not small beginnings. Despise not small beginnings. I've been thinking a lot about the beginning of Southside Pitch lately, because it's our 10th. You know, you think about the beginning when you're thinking about an anniversary. Thinking about sitting around that room like the beginning of so many businesses. How did it start? It started small with a little question. What if? How about we give a try, do something we haven't done before? How about we give it a try and do something we haven't seen other people on the South Side do before at that time? Now there are lots of pitches, there's lots of exciting stuff happening. But that's how the South Side Pitch started, with that small beginning. Since then, since 2014, a lot has happened. Our teams of law students have spent thousands of hours helping our clients to solve problems, to protect themselves against risk, and to plan for growth. Some of those clients are represented here tonight, and I wanted to give a special shout out to our beverage vendor, Drinks on Me, which is a former IJ Clinic client. And Healthy Substance, which made the delicious food you're eating here tonight. Not only a client, but a former Southside Pitch finalist. So as we've worked with our clients, we've listened. We've listened to what they needed but we've also listened to what they told us about what the community needed. And we've listened, we've learned, and we've tried to take action to make sure that entrepreneurship is doable in the city of Chicago and that the laws do not stand in the way. When they tell us the rules are too strict, the procedures are too absurd, and the costs are just overwhelming, we try to figure out what we can do, how we can take action to make it easier. And since that first Southside pitch, among other things, we've helped legalize food carts in the city of Chicago. Talk about small beginnings. What's the best way for a new food business to test its market and get started? We've helped push the city to legalize the sidewalk signs like the one you might have seen outside here tonight, so that small businesses can pitch themselves to their customers right on the sidewalk, right out front. Can you believe that was illegal? And most recently, we designed a task force for the state of Illinois so that we're looking hard at the requirements and the barriers and the burdens that the state puts on people to enter pretty low-income occupations like barbering and counseling. Thank you. So also since that first Southside pitch, we have coached over 50 finalists to help them hone their pitches. We've awarded over $150,000 in prizes. Thank you. This beautiful building opened since then. And we've had 5 different team members at the IJ Clinic running the show for Southside Pitch. Each one of them has added something new, added balloons, added more prize money, got to more neighborhoods all around the South Side. It gets bigger and better, and we're so glad you're a part of this 10th Southside Pitch. Before I go any further, I want to thank this year's master of every detail involved in this production, which started way back in the spring, Alexei Kaminsky. Thank you so much. No matter how much we do to master every detail of the planning, we cannot do this alone at the IJ Clinic. Just like every small business, we need a community. And so I want to thank and acknowledge some of the community members that have made this night possible. Our coaches, they gave up Saturdays to work with our finalists so that they could really show you their best pitch tonight. So if you're a coach out here, and I know some of you are out here, give us a wave. Thank you. I want to thank the Polsky Center, one of our sponsors, for giving us this gorgeous space and all the support behind it. The University of Chicago Office of Civic Engagement, which has been working to help put on Southside Pitch from the very first. Booths, our business school's Rustandi Center for Social Sector Innovation, and also, finally, United Airlines, which is helping the IJ Clinic reach for the skies by doing everything we can. All right, I know I'm not the person you're wanting to see, so let's move this along. I want to introduce our judges. They are the key part, keeping our finalists on their toes, making this a show, but also a really gripping competition. First, we have Eva Brown. She's the Executive Director and Head of Business Growth and Entrepreneurship, Financial Health and Wealth Creation. I did not memorize your title. At JP Morgan Chase. She has a deep history of working within banks to make sure they're not overlooking the rich opportunities of supporting historically overlooked and underserved entrepreneurs. Thank you, Eva. Justin Douglas is the Assistant Director of the Edwardson Social Entrepreneurship Program at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business Rustandi Center. I think they're having a competition to see who has the longest title. He helps students across the university to maximize their ideas for businesses that will make the world a better place. So he's right there from those small beginnings to make sure that social entrepreneurs can do a lot of good. Thank you, Justin. Tessa Flippen is the founder and managing partner of Capitalize VC. So we've got a venture capitalist here. Get your pitches ready, people, which invests in early stage Black and Latinx founders. She has been involved in diversifying and strengthening the VC community as well as the startup community in Chicago and beyond. And finally, last but not least, Richard Jones is returning as a judge. Again, we wouldn't let him get away. He's the supplier diversity business manager with United. And as he told us when we first met, his job is to listen to and evaluate sales pitches from businesses that want to work with United. We're so proud he accepted our invitation when we pitched to him the idea of being a judge for Southside Pitch. Thank you, Richard. So lots of people to thank, lots of VIPs in this room. But it's the audience that makes Southside Pitch what it is. I want to hear more of that warmth, more of those hoots and hollers. Do not hold back. We're here to show the entrepreneurs here tonight and entrepreneurs all over the south side of Chicago how much it means to us that they're starting small, growing with their creativity, their innovation, and their grit to make the south side thrive. So you will have a vote at the end of the night, and so get ready, as I said, to be inspired. And there's no better way to start the inspiration wheel turning than to kick it off with a keynote speech from our next speakers. So Sylvia and Augie, where are you guys? I think they're coming in from over there. Denobi Detergent is their company, was a winner of Southside Pitch several years ago, and then a client with whom we loved working in the IJ Clinic. I think they're going to tell you their story, so I won't bump them and take the thunder, but we're so glad to welcome Sylvia and Augie to the floor.
A real simple request. When I say Southside, please say pitch. Southside? Pitch. One more time. Southside? Pitch. Last time, Southside? Pitch. All right, we ready to get electric. How's everybody doing? Awesome. My name is Augie.
And I'm Sylvia.
And this is Sylvia, and we are Denobi, just like Southside Pitch taught us how to say it.
Yes.
All right. We are actually going to be a little bit vulnerable tonight. We have this latest enterprise called Dirty Laundry, so why not air out some dirty laundry? All right, so we're going to air out a little bit of dirty laundry. So it's going to feel...
Not all of it.
Some of it.
Not all of it.
But it's going to feel a little bit like a conversation, right, that's based on introspection around this journey of entrepreneurship, okay? So I'm going to kick us off really quickly. Sylvia, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about Denobi Detergent.
My name is Sylvia. My name is Sylvia Amua. I am one half of Denobi Detergent LLC. We also have a DBA called Dirty Laundry by Denobi here in Hyde Park at 5230 South Harper.
Okay.
It started out as really just a passion, feeling a need. I was always taught, find a need and fill it. It took me a while to figure out how to really find a need and fill it and actually do business with that. But my first initial thought was, I saw you itching, you had some eczema issues. I didn't know anything about eczema, so I had to do some research about it. We started having children. We have 4, by the way. It's a little piece of dirty laundry. And I noticed that they were having some issues. And this whole thing about Denobi was really just, I just want to do something that's going to help solve this problem. That was really all I was thinking about. And then I thought to myself, well, somebody else might have the same problem. So I just started asking questions, starting getting curious, getting more curious about eczema, which most people think, oh, I already know about this. I had no idea. So I had to start asking a lot of questions. So the long and short of it is I took a little money out of the account.
I would call it almost laundering. I would look at the account. I'm like, okay, who is this person getting paid these X amount of dollars? So the beauty of what Sylvia did was she showed a sense of entrepreneurship from jump. Yes. The main thing that she did was start to say, okay, cool, I have an idea. I'm going to take some action and put agency behind it and start to practice it, even if my husband doesn't know that some of his salary is being sent to a person that's an organic chemist.
I was just bringing you along for the ride. That's it.
Definitely.
That's it.
Sometimes you got to do that.
As a team.
Indeed.
And you're part of the team.
Indeed.
So going from there, it took us a couple years. We found a wonderful organic chemist.
Best of the best.
Yes, the best of the best. They're local as well. Because we wanted to start off, we wanted to do everything local, because we knew, we're a small business. We want to kind of keep it Chicagoland, as much as possible. I tested it for maybe like 2 years before we actually hit the market. And then we'll get around to like the South Side pitch later on. But we tested it for 2 years to make sure nobody's skin was going to blow off or anything like that. And I wanted to create something just a little bit more about the detergent. It is authentically 100% plant-based, and there's no other like it in the market.
Correct.
And so,
and that's made and that's manufactured right here in our city.
Yes.
Yep.
And that is a mountain to climb. So
indeed,
we'll get into those mountains here in a minute. But
sure.
I want to ask you, since we called it Denobi.
Okay.
Most people don't know, like, what is the origin of that name? What made you call it Denobi? So
Denobi is very symbolic to me. So my father was an immigrant to this country in the 70s here on a student visa. And he got here through some really, really tough trials, But the thing that kept him, his motivation up and him alive was this idea that he was precious. So the Igbo word for precious is Denobi. Denobi, that's the word. So we decided to make sure we paid homage to our legacy. We are precious. We are Denobi. How many people in here are precious?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So all of you all are Denobi. Looking forward to you guys hitting our website at denobidetergent.com. But in all honesty, it was really just when we came into the business in the beginning, we came into it with a sense of integrity and passion for our community, knowing that passive consumption has been an issue in our community for so many years. How many times do you just go to the store and consume it without looking at a label, without looking at what's in it? And we felt like, you know what, we've got to bring some awareness and raise some consciousness in our products. But that's just the passion part. Now we get into some business. And when we start getting into some business, then you learn a whole ton of other things that maybe you didn't factor in when you were just incubating your passion and trying to push that out. But passion is good because passion fuels a lot, right? Yeah. So I'm going to flip it, go right back to asking you a question. Talk to me a little bit about your passion, in the beginning versus where it is right now.
Oh, wow. In the beginning, I was most passionate about fixing something. I'm a fixer. That's kind of how my mind works. I'm more of the find something. I like to tinker with things. I like to hook up speakers. Anybody needs their speakers hooked up? I'm in the back. But yeah, I initially started with the passion of let me find something to fix what's going on in my own household. Then it became, oh, well, I'm meeting people who have some of the same issues. I started getting passionate about fixing their stuff. Then I became passionate about turning it into a real business because I did always have this sense of wanting to be entrepreneurial. I come from an accounting background and been in corporate America for years. And I just wasn't passionate about what I was doing. I was reporting the news, not making the news type thing. So going from passion to being
in practice,
that took some real re-engineering for me because I had been trained a certain way. So now I am so passionate about making sure that this baby, this thing, this business is protected and it's able to grow and do the thing that I was most passionate about, which was helping other people.
Indeed.
Because you kind of have to have both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was passionate about, again, just raising that consciousness in our community, and empowering our ecosystem, making sure we offer products that made sense, that really did the job. We are a toxin-free, authentically organic product, but we really actually work. And you know, you've got some companies out here that say, hey, yeah, like I'm toxin free, but they don't actually work. Then you have some folks say I'm toxin free, but they're not actually toxin free. And we felt like, well, we can actually do both. We can be toxin free and actually work, and we can do that from the south side of Chicago, because we know that the south side of Chicago tends to be an underdog in a lot of spaces, right? So we wanted to push against that message. It was still about equity in the marketplace. It was still about making sure we supported our community. But when I think about back in 2019 when we started this journey, you all, we started this journey with that passion, and one of the first opportunities we had to get into practice was the Southside pitch. Y'all was supposed to clap, like I just dropped it. All right. So the Southside pitch was super, super integral to that process. And it was because I came from the education background. I had spent 20 years in public service. My wife, like she said, she was in a dungeon doing internal audit and accounting and all the back end work, right? We just created this thing from heart and soul.
That sounds so
I didn't mean to make
sexy.
it sound like that, but we're airing out dirty laundry. We're gonna get into some dirty laundry in a minute. But this is how the project actually evolved, right? I didn't know that you had people that would give you money. I had to look at that side of the room, and this side of the room, for your ideas if created and baked properly. So when we signed up for the Southside pitch, the previous year I had actually witnessed my younger god sister in a competition. And I said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So when we decided, okay, cool, we should do it, we decided, yeah, let's fill out the application, and we weren't actually looking to win, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. What we were looking to do, we were looking to build community with other people that were crazy enough to be thinking about how to do this stuff on their own like we were, right? And that's what we found. We found community through the process of working with our coaches. Shout out to our coaches. Oh my gosh, we had some amazing coaches. I don't know if Israel's around. I don't know. Like, let me not name. Oh my gosh, Bill Skeens. Like, we had some amazing coaches, right? Tony Wilkins. Oh my gosh, so many folks, right? Told us about the importance of really understanding your customer, your end user. Because the one thing that I know about my wife as a mother and my co-founder as a mother is that she is very protective about her babies, okay? But then in business, yes, it's great to be protective about your baby, but you have to release that thing, right? So that other people want the baby, right? That was our main objective.
People want to know people.
Yep. All the time. I think that one of the other things that's a crucial lesson that we learned after winning the Southside pitch in 2019, and we didn't know, again, that we were here for community. We ended up winning, and then the races started quickly. Meaning that we didn't know that media would come from it. We ended up getting a spot on NPR. We ended up doing some stuff on WGN. We ended up doing some stuff on Windy City Live. Oh my gosh, it just started rolling so quickly, right? And we were so excited because finally our passion was getting acknowledged, right? But then what's missing from acknowledgement? Money. Right? So we got acknowledged. We ain't even had a funnel set up on the website, y'all. Like, we just like, oh, they see it. They finally see it. But you ain't got the money. Right? And little did we know that we were gonna journey through a pandemic with a plant-based, authentically plant-based product.
So if you roll back the dates, it was this time, 2019, and the shutdown happened when?
So we got acknowledged.
Yeah.
But then when we found out that farmers have to actually plant for you to get your product created, it started to spark some other ideas. But luckily, because of some loyal customers, some loyal retailers, some people that really bought into what we were doing, we were able to get through it, we were able to survive it. But on a great, amazing trip out east, we happened to run into some people who actually owned a laundromat. And they talked a lot about what it could be, the possibilities of it. So we came back to Chicago and said, well, We don't know if we're going to even be able to do anything like this, but the beauty of it is how can we figure out an amazing sort of recession-proof side door to balance out the funding of just competing in a space that's very, very competitive, you all. I mean, we picked one of the most competitive industries out there. I mean, I could have probably invented sort of like back mold scratchers or something that would have been so much easier of a sale, but we picked detergent. You guys realize it is truly a ministry, but I love it because we have a customer base that's so super committed. But we said to ourselves after the pandemic and getting through the pandemic, how do we now create an infrastructure where we have like a classroom for our customers? Mm-hmm. And that's what Dirty Laundry is. Mm-hmm. So as we banter back and forth, we were going somewhere with this message. Now, there's a shop right around the corner at 5230, right? That's ours for a while, for a pop-up. We're looking for a more long-term engagement with it. But we know that it's super important to have a space to continue to nurture your community, to continue to pour into your community with causes, but then also making sure that they had the right products, services to match. So that's how Denobi is starting to evolve, right? So Sylvia, what have you learned in this process?
Well, I've learned a few things, I would like to say. As you can kind of hear through our story, we've had a lot of bumps, but we've learned how to pivot. Pivoting is one thing that is pivotal to your business. They're trying to, we got to hurry up.
Correct.
So learn how to pivot. I'm going to pivot off the stage. Be your authentic self, okay? Don't take it personal. It's just business, whatever happens.
Yeah. We know that time is precious. Time is Denobi. We thank you so much. God bless.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the 10th annual Southside Pitch. Make some noise, please. Thank you kindly. My name is Noah Bezos. I work for the IJ Clinic. I am the policy fellow, or as I like to say, when the reading gets dense, I'll make it make sense. So, our first finalist is about to come up and wow us all with their pitch, but I'm going to tell you all how the evening is going to play out, all the rules, regulations, so on and so forth. Okay, so our finalists have been really working hard for the past several weeks, working with their coaches, developing these 3-minute pitches. Every one of our finalists will get a 3-minute pitch. We do ask that while they're pitching, that you remain seated. We want to hear every fantastic, inspiring word of each and every one of these pitches. They'll have 3 minutes to do their pitch, and then we'll have questions from our judges to get some more information from them. Once their pitch is over, they're going to go through those questions, and we're going to better understand them. And the bottom line is, one of our finalists in this room, will be walking out of here with $12,000. Ooh. Now, the important things to remember, because you folks are going to have an opportunity to vote as well. You are our 5th judge. Remember this. But there are some criteria that you should keep in the back of your mind as you're listening to these pitches. So, number 1, business impact, long-term business vision, creativity, particularly in marketing and sales, the business's roots in the South Side, and finally, my personal favorite, showmanship. Keep these in mind as you are listening to these pitches, and we are going to get started right here. First of all, I am very proud to welcome April Prayer from Just Us Junkie. Give it up for April.
DJ is an 18-year-old boy who is riding home from football practice with friends when they are stopped by the police. DJ has played Trials and Triumph board game, which teaches teens how to stay safe when stopped by police and how to stay out of jail. The driver hasn't. As the officer approaches the vehicle, the driver starts to panic. DJ springs into action, coaches the kid on what he learned in the game, calms him down, and the driver leaves with just a warning. Black Chicagoans are 9 times more likely than whites to be stopped by police and 8 times more likely to have force used against us. Yet no one teaches our youth how to respond to a police stop. leaving Black mothers to worry that their kid will become the next hashtag. I am April Prayer, criminal defense attorney of 24 years. I'm a proud resident of Beverly Morgan Park and CEO of Justice Junkie, Inc. Justice Junkie offers practical legal education through products and services. Our flagship product is Trials and Triumph board game, a fun, interactive, and educational tool for families that teaches 7 rules of police encounters using 54 real-life scenarios. We've been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, Daily Mail TV, and more. We've sold 2,500 units to date to 39 states and 2 countries. And it's available on our e-commerce store for $39.99, along with an expansion deck, Shut Up, Lawyer Up t-shirts, and our game guide. Our educational programming is called Street Law Revolution, and is taught by attorneys. We go into schools, nonprofits, and government agencies to conduct trainings for parents, staff, and students grades 7 through 12. We have reached over 60 youth organizations in the Chicagoland area to date. Some of our clients include Epic Academy in South Chicago, Activist Chicago, Inc., and the Cook County Public Defender's Office has hired us to create unique educational programming just for residents of Roseland. Trials and Triumph is the linchpin of everything we teach, and that's why we are rolling out a Spanish version. We are doing a sequel that is based in a school setting. We are also hosting our first game tournament and opening our first fulfillment center in my church in Morgan Park. Southside Pitch can help with all of these initiatives and more, and together we can make this unique, one-of-a-kind, revolutionary game a household name in Black and brown communities. Because no mom should ever have to roll the dice about whether her kid will make it home. Thank you.
All right, great. Let's hear from our judges. Tessa, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, amazing pitch. So my question for you is, what, in addition to this game, do you anticipate, kind of as you're growing the business, do you anticipate doing other games like this? And if so, kind of what direction do you see that going in?
Yes, so within the next 6 months, like I mentioned, the first thing we'll roll out will be a Spanish version of the game because there's a real need for that. The second one is it will be similar, but it will focus on the school to prison pipeline because the rules within a school setting are a little bit different. Like children have less of a Fourth Amendment right when it comes to their lockers, their cars, their book bags, but they don't know that. And a lot of parents treat the police station like it's the principal's office, like you're gonna get a slap on the wrist and get sent to detention, not realizing that some of the same things I might have gone to detention for when I was in high school 30 years ago, kids are actually going to the detention facility for juveniles for the same actions. So that will be the focus.
Thanks.
I'll jump in here. Great presentation as well. So you mentioned $39.99 for this game. What's the profit margin on that?
The profit margin is, so it depends on how many I'm ordering. If I'm ordering 1,000 games, I can order each for $6.50. So then I sell them for $39.99, and that also includes the shipping price. So you might knock off $7 or $10 depending on where it's getting sent to.
Great, and really quick follow-up. You mentioned you're opening a fulfillment center in your church. Does that at all change the economics around the price and profit margin?
Very slightly. So we are starting out small. So we're renting a very small space, and then we will have a couple of teenagers who are working as part-time employees. So you're correct, it will change it slightly, but not by much.
Great, thank you.
Just want to reiterate, like, such a great, strong pitch. I guess my first question is, what you talked about these 7 police sort of like fundamentals of police encounters. What are those that you teach in the game?
Awesome. So you have an open game in front of one of you has an open game and turn to the blue booklet. So they're all R's. So the first 4 are don'ts. Don't run, don't reach, don't resist, don't run your mouth. Request a lawyer, refuse consent to search, and refuse all DUI tests. So those 7 rules get reiterated throughout the game. There are cards, 54 cards, and at the bottom of each card it tells you whether you broke one of those rules or not. And the only way to lose the game, just like the attorneys in the room will tell you the only way to really lose your case, is to run your mouth. And that is why I always wear this shut up, lawyer up shirt wherever I go, so that people understand even children need to stop talking. I've had clients as young as 4 years old, and they need to stop talking and simply ask for a lawyer.
Amazing. So I guess my follow-up question to that is, does the game sort of address sort of when they're in the situation and they're doing everything right, but as you know, like sometimes that's not even enough? How does the game address kind of those situations as well?
So one of the main things that we focus on is kind of being in a group. And maybe you're not the worst actor, you're not the one who came up with the bad idea, you're not the mastermind, but you're still in it. And kids need to learn that there's a concept called accountability, meaning that if you're still in it, I will get charged for your actions, you will get charged for my actions, whether I knew you had a gun or not, whether I knew you had a knife or not, whether I knew what your intentions were or not, I will still be responsible for you. So that is reiterated throughout the game over and over and over.
Cool. Thank you.
So I guess it's me. One, amazing relatability. Growing up, like my dad used to preach everything that you were saying to me. I had a couple of questions. So your target demographic is students between the grade levels of 7 and 12. So that's middle to high school. Like right now in the digital era that we are in, are you looking to make this in an app form to compete with the Roblox and the other games that the kids are playing within that group? Because I have some nephews and they don't pull out the Monopoly game board anymore.
I smiled when you said that because I knew that question was coming. And my answer is no for 3 reasons. The magic of the game is in the interaction. It's when the nerd and the jock are forced to talk to each other and figure out a problem together. Because as I mentioned, teenagers move and act as groups. They commit crimes as groups. So why not reverse engineer that and have them do some problem solving as a group? That's number 1. Number 2, when a police officer stops you, you can absolutely not have your head in the phone. That is a problem. That's why we see so many TikTok videos and YouTube videos of people being harmed because they have their head in their phone. They're trying to call their mom. They're trying to FaceTime. They're trying to videotape the police officer. You absolutely cannot, and I don't want to be a part of the kid looking for an app to figure out what to do when he's in that situation. And number 3, the board game industry is booming. In the last year alone, it has grown by $2 billion and is expected to grow from $13 billion to $26 billion by 2030. So I have no intentions of doing a video game, an app, or anything because kids are playing this, they love this, and the magic is in the interaction.
Okay, I have one more question. So I know you're currently selling to 39 states, or you have sold to 39 states. How are you looking to scale up to hit the rest of the states? Like, how is your social media presence? Because the board games that you talked about, if it's the card games, as far as what's this hip hop song, like how are you reaching those other states?
So the game actually started with a viral video. So I had a presence online long before the game came around. I go by the Justice Junkie, and I had a video that started with the first 4 things on that list, the first 4 R's, that got 1.2 million views overnight. Wow. After that, I started doing weekly videos on Facebook. I grew to the other platforms, and now I have 13,000 followers just on Facebook, and they're the ones who support the game. So I've recently hired an e-commerce coach so that we can have a strategic plan in order to do email marketing, paid Facebook ads, Instagram ads, et cetera, LinkedIn ads, et cetera, and build upon the platform that I already have, and we're live on there right now.
Fantastic. Folks, give it up one more time for April and Justice Junkie. Thank you. And please, by all means, keep the love and good vibes coming because we're going to introduce our next finalist. Please make some noise for Corey Luckett and Englewood Branded.
Welcome to Englewood Branded, a brick and mortar social enterprise that focuses on retail, print production, and youth development. Conveniently located on 63rd and Ashland, this apparel company is the heartbeat of the South Side. Hi, I am Corey Luckett, and I'll be your tour guide. I started Englewood Branded 6 years ago from a reflection of growing up in Englewood. The South Side has always been a fashion. South Side has always been. Oh wow, I can't believe this. The South Side has always been a fashion industry. So with that, I feel compelled to create a brand that will resonate with Englewood residents and past and present that will okay. I only got 3 minutes. So from that, I decided to create Englewood Branded, a brand that is dedicated to our South Side, and those that wear this brand wear it with pride. You have the opportunity to wear on your chest something that's bold, something that represents where you're from, and something that is inevitably fashionable. Our vision is bold. Love, respect, honor, and dedication are our 4 principles that guide us through every sale, every print, and every in-store experience when visiting our retail location. What we wanted to do was ensure that when we create this brand and have this brand, it is a reflection of who we are on a daily basis. Winning the Southside Pitch, of course, will be a game changer. It will allow us to, number 1, upgrade equipment, number 2, provide jobs and stability, and number 3, be able to help our youth with the Printing with Youth initiative that's designed to help them print their own garments and, of course, be able to make their own money through print. My name is Corey Luckett, and I am your tour guide. Thank you for joining us. We definitely lead by our 4 principles: love, respect, honor, and dedication. And with that being said, we do this one garment, one conversation, and one connection at a time. Thank you for joining us.
Fantastic. All right, going over to our judges. Richard, let's start with you this time.
Yeah, so 1, great job. Amazing. I know it's difficult being up there, the spotlight. You did a great job. I know you mentioned youth development, and especially in a generation now, how many youth have you helped so far? And what kind of products have they developed?
So we currently to this day have helped 17 youth create their own brand. They are creating t-shirts. We do screen printing and also teach them how to profit margin and sell their product.
Could you talk a little bit more about the business model behind that and kind of, how the economics work?
So with understanding where we are and where we come from and looking at how the violence rate is up, we utilize this space to ensure that we can bring youth in. Outside of just our regular, normal, everyday printing for businesses, companies, and things like that through screen print, we also utilize that time to create a safe space for them while teaching them this, to show them the ropes on how to market, how to provide a great product, number 1, and most importantly, how to bring their vision to life, which in turn keeps them off of the streets during those crime peak hours and provides a safe environment, a tangible opportunity, and an opportunity to make money in partnership with Englewood Branded.
That's awesome. And quick follow-up with that. So once a t-shirt is designed, is it sold by your company kind of in perpetuity, or is it kind of for a period of time?
So no, what we do is once we start that particular brand, we are going to put it on the shelf. That shelf space is their space. Now, depending on how they want to market and push it from there, they'll always have a home in Inglewood branded.
Cool. Awesome.
Of which they'll make a percentage off of that shirt, as well as continue to help with marketing for Inglewood branded as well as themselves. Bring in a younger population into the store to enjoy everything else that we have.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks. That's along the line of the questions that I have, but kind of going back to that business model, you just mentioned in one of your responses that in your kind of everyday printing, like for businesses, et cetera, what is the percentage split of revenue from kind of the students or the kids and making their t-shirts versus kind of what you do, like your bread and butter on this side?
So when printing with youth, the percentages on that is 60-40. 60-40 because we utilize the money put into it to get the supplies. So pretty much they'll be coming out on a big scale because they'll have that 40% to be able to do, which I hope is reinvest into their business. Mm-hmm. And there was another part. What was that?
Yeah, so with Inglewood branded, kind of the umbrella mentioned, that one component with the children, the kids and what they do, but then you have another component, right?
Exactly.
If I heard correctly.
Exactly.
So what is the revenue split there for the whole Inglewood branded? Like, are you relying more heavily on the children, or is it more so kind of your corporate clients, the screen printing that you do on that side?
Well, it's more the corporate clients and the screen printing. Actually, it's actually two parts because Inglewood branded's retail space has its own trajectory. Gotcha. So we have Inglewood branded on this side that we sell t-shirts and accessories, coffee mugs, jogging suits, etc. Then we have the Inglewood branding printing, which provides wholesale screen printing for businesses, companies, schools, and things like that. Now we have printing with youth initiative that we're encouraging and uplifting young people to not only start their own brands, but build them up, create an opportunity, and give them the opportunity and bandwidth to grow within themselves.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And then as you look to kind of expand this into the future and grow, you mentioned with the money from the competition, you would invest in upgraded equipment and jobs. So I'm just wondering if you can talk a little bit about the equipment you have now, what you might purchase, yes, and then also your team members. So who's kind of working with the company now, and then like who would you hire going forward?
Yes. So being able to expand, getting more equipment will allow us to be able to take on more clients, more clients and just more jobs. Being able to hire within a community is a part of our model, just being community-based and understanding how important it is for community residents to not only have employment, but be able to do it from within their community, that they can see a business providing and shelling back into the community. Give me the last part one more time, please.
I was just asking who might you hire, but it sounds like the community.
Yeah, but I don't, Inglewood branded is about Inglewood. It doesn't matter what part, not even really the age, as long as I can get someone that's dedicated to understanding those core values, love, respect, honor, and dedication, putting in that work, we're here to make sure that we can do this together.
Folks, show Corey and Inglewood branded some love, please. Thank you very much. For our third finalist, yes, we're moving very quickly, I am thrilled to introduce Megan and Mary Turner with Stovey Inc. Creatives.
Imagine you are standing on 51st and Calumet in the Bronzeville neighborhood, just in front of a 20-foot shipping container, graffiti painted. You make your way around to the side of the door, and just before you enter that door, it hits you. This heavenly scent that welcomes you into this space with an inviting couch, long red flowing curtains, a whole wall of products, and a smiling face that says, hello. My name is Megan Warren Turner, co-owner of Stovey Inc. Creatives. We are a creative brand collective made on the South Side for communities like the South Side. Our first brand, Humans Under Experimentation, is a body and home care line designed for physical and mental wellness. Our soaps, sprays, body butters, and perfumes are all designed with organic ingredients for sensitive skin. But why do we do this? Because my partner, Mary Turner, who lives with alopecia and Graves' disease, couldn't use store-bought products. So she began manufacturing her own products, and she found her own formula. She even began experimenting with candles and wax melts with mood-boosting scents designed for mental wellness that inspires happiness and relaxation. And speaking of mental wellness, Stowe's Dirty Cranberries. It's not the kind of sauce you know in a can, but why cranberry sauce? It's my sweet therapy. My mother passed away 5 years ago, and I slipped into a deep depression. My therapist said, find something that you can create that would celebrate her life, and thus came cranberry sauce. My mother loved cranberry sauce so much that she actually believed that I didn't make it because she didn't think I could cook, and she was right. But she was also right about the cranberry sauce. We source our berries locally. Cranberries are known to have antioxidants, anti-inflammatory properties, and they're fantastic for women's health. So Humans Under Experimentation and Stowe's Dirty Cranberries have been sold online to 36 states, with our highest grossing sales in Chicago, Illinois, Houston, Texas, and Atlanta, Georgia. Money from this pitch will allow us to put face to product. We can go to these places. We can partner with their retailers and their buyers, put our products on their shelf, increasing our bottom line, returning those monies right back to the South Side, furthering our initiative to have a bigger brick and mortar, creating jobs and opportunities, because our first product was us. Two individuals who came together for one common purpose: to inspire wellness through the transformative power of creativity and art. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Megan. Let's start with Tessa.
All right, so you mentioned online sales right now, and then you also mentioned going on shelf. So I'm wondering, as you move forward, well, currently, what's kind of the split? It sounds like mostly online, but as you move forward, are you planning to continue kind of, more D2C, or are you thinking that this might be a better product for being in retail stores like in Target, et cetera?
I actually think it's both. That's why we started with our brick and mortar first. We already had an online presence prior, so we sold our products online first, and then we migrated into a brick and mortar shop. So with that, we sell the products online as well as in the store. And we also have a pop-up shop that we do from the events that we produce, which brings us more revenue for the product as well. So I do believe that this product can not only just live online, it can be online, in the store, in your houses, every place else.
And what do you think is like the optimal split between online D2C and on-shelf and retailer?
I would say that it is an even split, specifically because of the way we market it. It's all about marketing.
Great, I can't cook either. So a few questions. So you have a couple of different products, it seems like. What is the average kind of product margin, the profit margin?
I would say our products range anywhere between $8 to $100.
Okay.
So there's a vast, everybody can afford it. So with that, our profit margin, we typically see more than 50% of what we, let me rephrase. It cost us a certain amount to make. And so we make that revenue back by way of giving more to the product itself. So therefore, we do have revenue from that.
And how are you all making the products?
Yes, we are.
You are. So you mentioned in your pitch that you're looking to leverage this money so that you can get a face out there to drive more demand. How do you look to scale that, right? Like you can make it now, but if you get really popular, growth is expensive. What does that look like for you?
Well, for us right now, we have an opportunity to connect with, we have partnerships in Houston, in Atlanta. So with that, even if we're making the products, we do have an opportunity to scale that product through a shop that we actually have. So therefore, our distribution comes from individuals where we can actually make these products ourselves, and then we can actually add more into distribution and add more individuals, just depending upon where we decide to go with the product. So with that, we have an opportunity to connect with these individuals, and they can create those as well. So with that, that's how we would scale it.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think my question is kind of in that same vein. Like you talked about being a creative brand collective. So when it comes to sourcing sort of creatives and people who sort of create these products, what does that look like? And yeah, kind of to Ava's point, what does sort of expansion in those areas look like? And yeah, like how is it structured?
Well, we typically, I'm sorry, let me just, can you rephrase that one more time?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry, because I caught it, but I didn't catch it.
So when you're sourcing kind of new people to sort of bring on new products that you are kind of adding to your expansion, kind of what does that look like strategically, structurally?
I understand. So typically, all of our products are curated specifically with certain ideas in mind. So let's just say if I framed that, if I wanted to make blueberry cranberry sauce, how would I grab a creative for that? I wouldn't. I make these products. However, when I say a creative brand collective, the creativity comes with us. We started as performing artists. So when we started as performing artists, we wanted to have something that was not just a t-shirt, not just a button, not just a CD. We wanted people to take something home with them that they could, one, use that would be detrimental to their health and beneficial to their health, and something that would allow us to go beyond just the product. They saw us more as not just creatives, but as entrepreneurs as well. So those individuals, when we procure other individuals to just come in and do some collaborative work, it is really based on how we curate that specific product. So if we had a box, a gift box, let's say if it's something that says Black Communion, we go and we find ourselves a Black-owned plant shop, and we bring those in, and we just sell them at that rate.
Okay, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
To start off, great job. And I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I know she would be extremely proud of you right now. So I have a few questions. I know you said that it takes, or it's you creating these products. What is the typical lead time for the creation of the products to distribution? So
let's say for 500 jars of cranberry sauce, it's Thanksgiving. So 500 jars of cranberry sauce usually takes me a weekend, one weekend. So what we do is we have a kitchen, and we hammer it out. We hammer it out. But the good thing is that we do procure different individuals to come and help with the lifting, to come and help with the salt and the sugar or whatever else that we use. And that's how we actually work for the product itself.
Okay, so with that, like you mentioned hiring additional people and outsourcing. Mm-hmm. So how do you keep the product integrity if you're doing that?
Because we actually train. 100%. We train. We absolutely train. Plus, the individuals that we bring back every year are already familiar with the product. They know how to make it, they know what to do, and they know the percentages, they know measurements, and all of that. And in addition, those individuals come from a youth program that gives us an opportunity to work with youth individuals and then show them different ways of entrepreneurship.
Okay, one last question.
Yes.
What is the shelf life of your product?
For cranberry sauce, it is 1.5 years. For the other products, they are all 1 year. So perfume, the older it gets, the better it smells.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Megan. And give it up for Stovey Inc. one more time, please. Moving on to finalist number 4. Please have a warm Southside pitch welcome for Rodney Trussell with Our City Kitchen. Rodney.
It's too much. This is too much. I didn't plan for all this. I didn't. I can't do this.
Yes, you can.
It's too much. It's too much.
Speak from your heart.
Those are the words that you will hear from every entrepreneur who owns a business on the south side of Chicago. Let's talk. About 3 years ago, during the pandemic, gave birth to many food entrepreneurs on the south side of Chicago, where one will make food from their homes, their garages, their basements, and sell to the public just to make ends meet. There was no school, there was no church, there was no work, but there were bills, and the bills kept coming. And that trend still continues today. Did you know that in Chicago, it's illegal to make most hot food from your home and sell to the public? And that's the problem. If you're a small business just starting out, how can you afford your own restaurant right now? If you're a small business just beginning, how can you start your own food truck right now? You need a starting point. And I have built the answer. Hello, my name is Rodney, the founder of Our City Kitchen. We are a shared use commercial kitchen in the community of Roseland. And you may ask, what's the purpose of a shared kitchen? Well, at our kitchen, we allow those early staged food entrepreneurs to rent space by the hour as needed, to bake, to cook, to meal prep from a licensed commercial kitchen rather than from their home. We are the only dedicated shared kitchen in the area. Our kitchen includes shared, also private commercial space, cooler, freezer, and dry storage shelving. Also, we also have a meeting and event space for small gatherings and loading and receiving areas. Our City Kitchen is a much-needed resource in the community. I'm in the community. I'm from the community. Our City Kitchen is for the community. Thank you.
All right, Richard, kick us off.
Man, we gotta get you on Def Comedy Jam. How many chefs are you currently working with to this day? And how many success stories have you built from that?
Sure.
And then finally, like, what is the profit margin as far as that? Like, what's your typical overhead look like as far as the electrical costs and the gas costs?
Sure. So I didn't get that to my pitch. So we currently have helped grow 30 food businesses thus far and have 13 clients on our waiting list. We have a monthly, we say a monthly plan as well, also hourly base plan. But our membership is $325 a year.
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the rental sort of costs. So is it a sort of, I know you talked about sort of the yearly or the annual fee, but what is it to rent the space per hour?
So per hour for a member, it'll be $35 an hour. But if you're a monthly plan member, it's less than that. It ranges from $28 to $34 a monthly plan member.
Okay. And for businesses that are kind of utilizing the space for either like sort of catering or events, are you kind of taking any of a percentage like from those sales, or is it strictly kind of just a space for them to run their business?
It's the space for them to rent. And there are many shared spaces on the west side, up north, and it killed me because if you are about the community, you're making more of a profit than the business itself. So how can you be for the community? You're not.
Thank you.
For the community means you have to make money to sustain, right?
Yes.
So you mentioned the annual fee, which sounds a bit low to me. Is the kitchen profitable?
Yes, it is. We became profitable. We're up at about 6 months now. We started up and up in March this year. And so by June, we're in the black, okay? So with the Southside pitch, I win it? Yes, good job, yeah. Yeah, sure enough. So with this pitch money, if I was to win, helped me to hire a kitchen manager, also a marketing team and a field manager team to go out in the community to get more business.
And then just a quick follow-up. You mentioned that there is like a community space or additional space there. Can you talk a little bit about, is there revenue coming in from that? Is that a part of your revenue model as well?
Yes. We use they call them pop-up kitchens, right? And so we are Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber's approved. And so this bite alone, those members can now have a customer base to pay the orders from the restaurant as well, sell out.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have a wait list of 13 clients. So I'm wondering, when do you open the next location? Where might that be? And like how would you go about that?
So the wait list of 13 people is because they're not ready yet. And so I'm now having to pivot from being a shared kitchen. Now I got to pivot to training the waiting on the list, because business license, EINs, LLCs don't make you a business, right? They don't know that. So they had to wait till I train them to do that. So this money helped me hire kitchen managers to free me up so I can do those things as well.
Okay. So do you see a second location in the future?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
We're looking eastward and then southward. Okay. Yes.
Thanks.
I had a follow-up question if we have time. So say there's somebody that wants to utilize your kitchen, but they need some like specialized equipment. Would you provide that, or how would you navigate a situation like that?
So we don't have anything that's specialized, but we do have what you need, meaning a double convection oven. We got a 6-burner stovetop with oven. We got a 20-quart mixer. We got utensils, tongs, spatulas, everything like that. So we provide the basics for that for entrepreneur.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Folks, give it up for Rodney and our City Kitchen. Thank you very much. And now, it is time for our final finalist. Yes, keep that goodwill going. I want you to give a warm welcome to Shauna Woodruff and Beauty Skew.
Hello, I'm Shauna Woodruff, co-founder and CEO of Beauty Skew. Beauty Skew is a mobile application designed to reimagine the way we buy and discover beauty products. You see, this journey started for me 18 years ago as I was a cashier at CVS Pharmacy. Customers would often walk into the store asking me questions about which beauty products were the best and if they worked as they claimed. I didn't have the answers to all of their questions, so that's where the idea for Beauty Skew was born. I always thought if customers had access to the right information to help them quickly decide if they were gonna make that purchase or not, it would save us both a ton of time and money. It took me some time to get here, but with the help of my sisters, who are also my co-founders, we created a solution to the problem, because today it's still a problem. My sisters and I often share beauty recommendations across FaceTime and group chats, However, with Beauty Skew, those conversations have now elevated into organized shoppable profiles filled with digital shelves and routines. We were fed up with having to rely solely on paid influencers and endless Google searching while shopping in the aisle. And we're not alone. We surveyed over 200 women who also wanted a better solution. Black shoppers spend $473 million annually on hair care alone in a $4.2 billion industry. However, we still face instances of poor customer service and limited social spaces that prioritize Black beauty needs. Additionally, skincare routines for melanin-rich skin are trending on the internet, but the retail experience hasn't caught up yet. Here at Beauty Skew, we've created technology that allows our customers the ability to scan or search any beauty product to view recommendations and reviews from users within our app. Essentially, we're giving our customers access to a makeup counter experience powered by technology, no matter where they shop. Growing up on the south side of Chicago, hairstylists and Black-owned brands like Luster and Soft Sheen were the OG influencers, and they drove the beauty industry forward. With Beauty Skew, we want to bring that innovation back home. Winning this pitch competition will mean that we'll be able to continue to develop our user experience using the feedback from the more than 300 users who have already created profiles. This will give them access to in-app shopping guides, a curated marketplace, and an easy way to share across their socials. We are 4 young Black women. I'm sorry, can I keep going? It's just 2 more seconds. We are 4 young Black women building a technology company. We're building a business without borders, and we would love for you to come scan with us.
Thank you, Shauna. Let's kick it off with Tessa, please.
Okay. All right, can you talk a little bit about the brand partnerships that you have right now or that you might pursue, and like what type of information is required for you to get from them in order to kind of feed into the app and give the information for the users?
Sure, we have been hyper-focused on our user experience. We just launched in June, and over the course of the last few months, we've generated about 700 downloads, with 300 of those users actually being active in the app and creating profiles. And so we wanted to make sure we had a good user experience first before we went to brands, because we knew that our currency right now is the social aspect of our app, and the appeal to them are who's using it, who's in the app, and so forth. So we've just started conversations with different brands, and the information that we want from them is, SKU by SKU information, so the product details, ingredients, along with any micro videos that they want associated with those products.
Thanks. Great. So can we talk a little bit about the revenue model? So is it more so on the brand side where they're advertising through the technology, or the user, what does the revenue model look like? And maybe it's a forward-looking statement.
Yes, we are pre-revenue.
Yeah.
It is a 2-sided marketplace, though. So we have a tiered pricing model for brands that would include giving them data insights from the way that their brands show up in our app, as well as a way to list in our marketplace. And then from the consumer side, we earn a commission from all the products that are sold through our marketplace.
Great. Thank you.
Does it cost anything to download the app?
No, the app is free, and it is available in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. The app is free, but forward-looking on our roadmap, we do have some premium features that we're going to enable for users if they so choose to purchase.
Cool. And then just a couple follow-up questions. One, so what happens if, you have a deal with a brand and then they get a lot of bad reviews on the app? How will that sort of like work, and what sort of, I guess, protections do those brands have?
Well, up front, the initial conversations we're having with brands is more about owning their voice. So a lot of times when you're on social and you search a product, it could be bad reviews, it could be good reviews. And depending on what retailer you shop at, the advertising may look different and so forth. And so our appeal to them is that no matter where a user scans their product or where they're, searching their product, they'll be able to own what that brand page looks like. Has nothing to do with the reviews, but if anything, they can use the insights and the data that they get from Beauty SKU to improve on their products.
Awesome, awesome. And then I really like that this is a family business, so how are the business responsibilities sort of structured between all of you?
Sure. So I'm the oldest, so I'm always the boss. But I am serving as, like storyteller. I do all the front-facing communication with, with the people that we pitch with the brands that we are having conversations with, as well as I serve as our CTO right now. So I am the one that's working with our developer on a very frequent basis to make sure that our app stays bug-free. And then one of my other sisters, she does like all of our marketing and strategy around like who we want to pitch to, and she does a lot of the research that goes behind finding contacts and so forth. And then I have another sister, Chelsea, who's in the room today, who just graduated college, and she has a finance degree, and so she's been helping us to keep our expenses on track. And then my last sister, she is a surgeon, so she is a thought leader, and I'll leave it at that. And a silent investor, because she gives the money.
Thank you.
All right, good job. I had a couple of questions. How much are you paying to maintain the app?
I would rather not disclose the amount because my husband is in the room, but it's very, it is within our budget. It's very low cost right now to maintain the app.
You sure about that?
I'm sure.
All right, so you said you have 700 downloads,
yes,
but only 300 of them are active users.
Yes.
How are you looking to increase engagement?
So what we found pretty early on that our users were experiencing some issues with logging in and understanding how to navigate the app when they first were onboarding. So we've done a lot of work in the last few months to really flip the login experience on its head. And before we really scale to the masses and ask our existing user base to share with their friends, we just want to do a little bit more testing. But we did do some A/B testing with social media ads, and the cost to acquire a download for our app is really, really low, which was very exciting for me. So I know that once we get these few kinks out, we will be able to scale pretty fast.
And then you're working within the tech space, and tech is constantly evolving. How do you look to compete with the Amazon marketplaces of the world that have the same kind of capabilities?
Well, our appeal, and I'm really standing firm in it, is prioritizing Black-owned brands. I would call myself an early adopter for a lot of apps, a lot of technology, and oftentimes when I would download some of these apps, the brands that I was looking for weren't prevalent or available or had any information. So I am not worried about the Amazons of the world, because this is for Black women who are looking for their brands, and I'm building an experience that is tailored to them. And for mass audiences, that's not always the case. But here, they're going to be priority.
Yes, please give it up for Shauna and Beauty Skewed. Thank you very much. And can I hear one more round of applause for all of our finalists? Judges, I do not envy you at this portion of the evening because now we must decide who will be walking away with our grand prize. I want to thank every single one of you for joining us at our 10th annual Southside Pitch. Give yourselves a round of applause, yes. So, for the next 20 minutes, our voting is open. Yes, everybody in this room will be able to vote for will be able to place a vote for each one of these finalists. We'll be able to score each one of these finalists. The QR code to do so is directly behind me, and it is also within your program. So this will take you directly to our Google form where you'll be able to rate everyone that you saw tonight. You'll be able to score each finalist in our form, and you will directly impact who goes home with each of our placement prizes because, yes, at Southside Pitch, everybody walks away with some money. In addition to that, you will decide who goes home with our community's favorite award, an additional sum of money on top of their placement prize. So, get started. You feel free to grab yourself one last drink for the evening. Vote, 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 and I will return shortly to celebrate our winners with you for our 10th annual Southside Pitch.
Well, I hope everybody's refreshed and ready to hear about our winners. And thank you, Noah, for the introduction. The votes are in. Are you ready to know how the judges voted? And that includes you, our audience, here at the Polsky Center and those of you joining us online virtually. Tonight, all of our Southside Pitch finalists will go home winners, each receiving a cash prize. But before we reveal the winners, we have a few people to thank and recognize. Our Southside Pitch sponsors, again, United Airlines, the Restandi Center for Social Sector Innovation, the University of Chicago Office of Civic Engagement, and the Polsky Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Thank you, sponsors. And it wouldn't be a party without some good food and drinks. Thanks to our caterers. We had Healthy Substance Kitchen, the vegan side of Mexico, here tonight. And they are winners from last year's Southside Pitch. And that's Patricia Gonzalez and Miguel Franco, so thank you to them. We have Drinks on Me Chicago, and you might have noticed they were featuring a special beer. Did you hear about Moore's Brewing? Also a winner at Southside Pitch, and I think we have somebody here from Moore's tonight. Am I right? Are you still here? All right, thank you. Of course, we couldn't do it without our esteemed judges. We have Tessa Flippin, Eva Brown, Justin Douglas, and Richard Jones. Thank you again. And earlier you got to hear the inspiring story of how it all got started, Denobi Detergent. How they were inspired first, like you, being in the audience, hearing somebody else pitch, and they got them the courage to try to build something, right? And then they came here, they pitched in 2019. They made it through the pandemic. They are here to stay. They have a beautiful business. I hope you'll stop by and see them at Denobi Dirty Laundry around the corner. Their products are available at Mariano's, so look them up. And of course, we're all better with a team, right? We've got an IJ Clinic team. So I want to thank, first of all, Beth Krieger, our director. Noah Basis, policy fellow, and Alexi Kaminsky. He's our operations and community relations coordinator, and the incredible planning and thought that went into helping to bring this whole event to life. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Couldn't do it without you.
Thank you.
We also have the Institute for Justice staff. We have Andrew Weimer, Natalie Walker, Philip Sutterman, Marianne March, and too many others to even mention, but they've all lended their talent and support to bring Southside Pitch to you. We also want to thank our coaches, and if you've got your program flyer, it lists them in there. Also, the more than 100 Southside Pitch applicants and the 25 semifinalists who shared their pitch stories with us with videos leading up to tonight's competition. With our thanks now extended, let's talk about those amazing finalists and their exciting and inspiring pitches. As we share the voting results with you, we want to start with 2 special awards. First, I would like to invite Justin Douglas to come join me. So thanks to the Rustandy Center, we have a Social Impact Award of $2,500. And I would like him to tell you, Justin, to tell you a little bit about that. And then he's going to have the chance to tell you who the winner is.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Justin Douglas, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Edwardson Social Entrepreneurship Program at the Rustandy Center at the Booth School of Business. It is indeed a mouthful. And I'm so excited to be presenting our 2nd annual Social Impact Award to one of the phenomenal teams that has presented here tonight. Let's give all of them another round of applause. The Rustandy Center is the social impact hub at Booth. We work with students across campus as well as members of the greater Chicago community to address pressing issues we see in today's social, economic, environmental, and political spheres. We utilize Booth's vast network of leaders, investors, philanthropists, and educators to make meaningful connections, advance critical research, and work collaboratively towards a better, healthier, and more equitable future. Our motto at the Rustandy Center is "Doing good is worth doing well," and that motto is what underpins our daily practice, be it with students, nonprofit leaders, professors, or community stakeholders, business owners, and entrepreneurs, which brings us to today's award. The team who wins the Rustandy Center Social Impact Award has demonstrated both in their presentation and in their venture's mission a fierce commitment to serving their community. Their business actively addresses a pressing need through a solution or solutions created by those who are most personally invested in those ends. For example, last year's award winner, The Record Track, seeks to create sustainable space in their community for the appreciation, preservation, and cultivation of musical traditions, performance, and expression, utilizing skills honed through a Booth MBA education. Founder Cliff Muhammad and his team are supporting a new generation of artists, musicians, and music lovers on Chicago's South Side, and we are excited to continue supporting their impactful work.
And they're here tonight.
They are. So without further ado, I would like to announce this year's award winner, who we as the judges have full confidence will continue in this legacy of excellence in social impact. The winner of the 2023 Rustandy Center Social Impact Award is Our City Kitchen.
Well, that's just getting us warmed up. All right. So now we have our Community Favorite Award. And Rodney, it's Our City Kitchen. Congratulations. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to start with our 5th place and work our way right through. Everybody's a winner tonight. Everybody's going home with cash. Everybody got coaching in the process. Hopefully they learned something about themselves, about their business, and a way to tell their story in a way that really connects with all of you. So tonight, the 5th place winner is Englewood Branded. And our 4th place award is to Stovey Inc. Creatives. And the 3rd place award, Beauty Skew. And our 2nd place award, Justice Junkie. Well, if y'all have been keeping track, that leaves one more finalist. And the first place goes our City Kitchen. So now all the finalists, please come on up, all the finalists. Noah, Lexi. Okay. That concludes our evening. I just want to say, who here is Denobi? Who here is special? We're so happy that the Southside Pitch brought an opportunity for these people to show us just how special they are. Thank you for participating. Thank you for being here. Southside.